What is going on, everybody? TG. Thought I'd bring you guys one last video in New York before we move down to Florida for the year. Going to be talking all about ARK and Michael Burry, aka the Big Short, who has a massive short position against ARK. We're going to go into all this and more. If you guys want, please subscribe. We just hit 5,000 subscribers, and we're going to be doing a big 5,000 giveaway and video coming up very, very soon for all the subscribers. And if you want to chat with me, come on in the Discord. Totally free. Would love to chat with each and every one of you. But let's jump right into this because this came out about a day and a half ago, disclosed in Michael Burry's short fund that he is betting against Cathie Wood. And he's doing it so in the form of puts against the ticker ARK, as we just saw there. So he owns 2,355 put contracts against ARK, which is essentially betting against the equivalent of 235,500 shares of ARK, which is approximately $31 million. Now, this is not the first time Michael Burry has made some big short position plays. Obviously, he is most famous for his housing market bet against that made him billions back in 2008, predicting the crash of the housing market by buying credit default swaps. And Cathie actually responded to Michael and said that essentially he doesn't understand the fundamentals that are creating this huge growth and opportunities in this space that she invests in. And if we know anything about Cathie, she likes betting big against companies with high PE ratios and high growth, high returns. And if we actually look at her top 10 holdings, obviously Tesla is her number one. She did sell a little bit recently, but she still owns over 3 million shares, which is over 2.1 billion. Tons of Teladoc as well, over 1.2 billion of Teladoc. Roku about 1.2 as well. Coinbase she now has over $1 billion of. Down a lot on Coinbase. She bought so much those first couple of days when Coinbase was $300 a share. Unity, Zoom, Square, Shopify, Twilio, and Spotify. So all companies that are growing at extremely fast rates. Very innovative in their sector. Tesla, the EV, Teladoc, the telemedicine, Roku, cord cutting for cable, Coinbase, the crypto exchange. And a lot of these plays I personally like. I think, long term you can't go wrong with Tesla or Roku. I am against Coinbase. I made a video about that. I think as more companies like Robinhood, commission-free trading come out, it's just going to hurt Coinbase so badly. 98 to 99% of Coinbase's revenue is just from commission fees alone. So if you have competition in there, this company could be hurt badly. But some of these other ones are very, very good as well. But essentially, she was going against what he was saying, just saying he doesn't really understand it. She tweeted, she had to give him credit about his call on, the housing market and all that stuff like that. But she basically just says that, he doesn't understand what she's doing and that she's going to be wrong. So we'll see what happens. ARK is up a little bit today. It is going down some right now. Has had a bit of a bad week, but most stocks in the market have. But overall, has performed very, very well, especially this year. Almost up 33%. And obviously, Michael Burry's betting big against Tesla. He actually increased his position in his Tesla short to over 1 million shares betting against Tesla. 1.075 million shares, which is up pretty significant from the first quarter where he was betting against 800,000 shares of Tesla. Now he's betting against over 1 million. And obviously Tesla's having a very, very good day today, up massive. So what does this say about it? Who is going to be right? And, what does this really mean for ARK? So obviously ARK is a very, very solid ETF and has continued to perform well over the years. But a lot of people are worried at, if you look at the PEs, a lot of these companies, Tesla, almost a 400 PE, Roku, 100 PE, Square over 100 PE, 200, 400 PEs for some of these. It can get a little risky because, they're valued so high that if inflation does become an issue, it could really significantly hurt these companies. And Teladoc has not performed too hot this year. It is down massive. It was doing extremely well. This is almost a $300 company. And now it's sitting at under half of that, has performed very, very poorly. And she's lost a lot of money on Teladoc. But, she does believe in it long term and has continued to buy in the dip. One of her big winners has been Square. Square has just performed so well. I mean, this stock is up just a massive amount this year, over 73%. Crazy. You have Roku as well. And a lot of these companies, like I said, I really like these companies long term. I love Roku long term. I think this is a great company. did get beat down from earnings and is down some, obviously. I mean, this was a stock that was just about at $500 a share. And then after the earnings disappointment, it actually dropped to about what you see now at $350. But as obviously up massive, this year, 137.13%. Just another stellar year for ARK. The companies in ARK. Coinbase, on the other hand, like I said, that is the one that I am not a big fan of. I'm going to be honest, I'm not a big fan of it. It has performed terribly. As doing better in the past couple of months, has recovered some. But, you look at it from when it IPO'd, and it's about exactly where it is, what the IPO price is. But most people did not be able to start buying this thing until it got listed. And it immediately shot up to over $430. This doesn't even show it. If we actually look on the chart on this and we look at that peak, we will see that someone bought shares at $429.54. And then it did pull back some. It has continued to pull back and pulled back pretty hard. So I am not a big fan of Coinbase, but that's just me personally. But, to each his own. Some of these other ones I don't really know too much. Obviously, we all know Zoom. Zoom, has just had... COVID was a perfect scenario for Zoom, and it's why the stock is doing so well. Even this year alone, up 26%. But at one point, it was at $580 something a share, which is just incredible. And then you have some of these other ones like Shopify. I'm not a big fan of Shopify, to be honest. I think if you're going to go e-commerce, you go Amazon in the U.S. You can go Baba. Spotify's solid. Spotify will continue to grow, and Twilio is really good as well. I don't know too much about it, but I'll have to look into it a little bit more. But overall, I mean, we look at ARK, and it's trading relatively expensive to obviously any other index, any other stock, just because of the fact that you have that high growth, you have those high PEs, and because of that, it can trade at that multiple. If you actually look at the options on it, they do go for a little bit more than a normal ETF would, just because of the fact that you have to account for the volatility swings that this ETF can have. So I like Michael Burry a lot. I think he's one of the goats of investing, obviously one of the most famous ones, and it is going to be very interesting to see what happens with his bet against it. Obviously, he's betting pretty big, $31 million against that, and over 600 something million dollars against Tesla, with the amount of shares, and the amount of puts that he has. But it's a big bet to bet against Tesla. It's a big bet to bet against ARK. But I think he can be rewarded pretty handsomely if it does work out. So again, I'll be watching it. I'll be watching to see how all this plays out. Right now, my main focus is just on Baba. That has just been kind of destroying me this year. But yeah, it's just absolutely performed terrible. Every single day it's been performing bad. But it's one of those things. But anyways, guys, let me know how you guys are doing. Let me know your thoughts and everything. And I will see you guys in the next video. Remember to like and subscribe. Talk to you later. Bye.